Is there anyone here who doesn't have a program? Nice.
Johnny, can I hear a test from you?
What's that?
Can I hear a test of anything coming from you? No.
It's going to be a while.
Like once in a while,
Yeah, we did that one.
So it's not very valuable, but if I return it to its owner, so I get rich.
Do you have any Kleenex? Hey, Tad. Can you do me Tad, can you do me a favor? When we're playing, can you just watch the audio level? It's already recording. Excuse me, Caleb. I have no idea how this is when I start playing this, I have no idea how hot it's going to be. So if you just, that's the master, but just try to keep it so it wouldn't hide anything else. Thank you so much.
Are you hearing anything from him at all yet? No?
Check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check. Check.
You hearing it, Tad?
Check.
Okay, cool.
Check, 1, 2, check, check, check. Thanks, David. Check, check. Mic number 2, check. Mic number 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2, check. One more, check, check. No highs. There's no highs. Check, 1, 2, check. Check. 1, 2, check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2, check, 1, 2. Check, 1, 2. What's that? Check, 1. Check, 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 check. More game. More game. Check. Check, 1, 2, check. 1, 2, check, check. Check, 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 check. More game. Game, 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 game. Check, check. Good. Check, 1, 2, check, check. Nice. Check, check, check.
What, the bass? It doesn't. It's not so directional. The lower wave's carrying, so it's not so directional.
That's a good angle for them. They really might love it. How do you play that chord down here?
What's that? They just put themselves there wherever you think makes sense.
Anywhere where you can fit?
Anywhere you can fit. But people got to get to mics, so.
Yeah.
You figure it out. Take control. Take control if you know.
One lead singer mic here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other mic should go to them. No, I mean up front, up in the middle.
Can you make it? Can you make it up here?
You could fit on the. I'll come. Self-titled. I just think they need to. This thing's finally getting some use. I don't know, it's like some kind of stage that was just. Yeah, it was in red.
Yeah, thank you.
They should have all. They should have the two mics. They should have one for all of us. For all the lead singers, which includes Nicole. Scott Ward should probably be one of these two. Maybe Scott Ward could be over here. Well, I think we should rotate up to the mic. Oh, really? It's more exciting.
And they're gonna share. Scott can share one of mine.
6 inches. That really excellent. Hey guys, watch the Aruba.
Yeah, we're watching them, don't worry. No, we are.
Check. It's basically that's what it's going to capture. And the rest of us are just going to be like. You guys are low, so shouldn't it be pointing towards you? Are you singing high or low?
Yeah, we're supposed to be high.
Hello, check test 1, 2. Hello, tasting, tasting.
That way, or where do you want to be? You want to be by Kristen?
No, you guys be close. You're going to crowd the mic? You're both really good singers.
Well, I don't have to crowd the mic.
But we need, who's ever going to do it needs to kind of step up. It should be you.
All right, but we can all like. Does anyone need the words? You want me to pick up? Yes. All right,
Jamie Just. So the guy they brought out there track.
I'm going over there, that I want to see.
As around the sun, the earth knows she's revolving, and the rosebuds know to bloom in early May. Just as hate knows love's the cure, you can rest your mind assured that I'll be loving you always.
As there can't be the mystery of tomorrow, but in passing we'll grow older every day. Just as all is born is new, to know what I say is true, that I'll be loving you always.
Till the rainbow burns the stars out in the sky, until the ocean covers every mountain high, until the dolphin flies and parrots live at sea, until we dream of life and life becomes a dream. Did you know that true love lasts for nothing? Her acceptance is the way we pay. Did you know that life has given love a guarantee to last you forever and another day? Just as time knows to move on since the beginning, and the seasons know exactly when to change.
Just as kindness knows no shame, know through all your joy and pain, that I'll be loving you always. Yes, today I know I'm living, but tomorrow could make me the past, but that I must unfeel. For I know deep in my mind the love of me I've left behind, 'cause I'll be loving you always.
Until the dawn is light and life becomes a day, until the trees and scissors hum and fly away, until the day that 8 times 8 is 4, until the day that is the day that is no more, until the day
It's a nice view though.
Oh, it was blown out?
Yeah, and I see how low it is.
Cool.
And it sounds
No problem.
sounded good for real, but not.
Thanks, Ted. Appreciate it.
Nick, is the light on?
Yeah, I'm trying to find
So while we're doing a few technical things, I wanted to welcome you all to Casa Jardin. It's good to see lots of new faces that weren't here tonight or last night as well, so that's really great. This is the second installment of the Devil Debates an Angel. We've been doing this for several years now, and this has been a wonderful teaching. And if you haven't been here before, you'll catch up pretty quickly. It's great. And Nicole's going to give us a few introductory remarks, and then we'll begin. Everyone can hear all right? Good.
Hi, good evening. Welcome. So I have the unique privilege and honor to introduce Geshe Michael Roach tonight again, and jam in a band. That's fun. So he received his Geshe, which is a Doctor of Theology in Tibetan Buddhism from Saramay Monastery in India, and he did that for 22 years, and then also worked in a firm in New York City, growing the fastest growing manufacturing company in history, and this is called Andine International. He wrote a book about that called The Diamond Cutter, and it's been translated into many, many languages, and it's being taught now throughout the world, the principles of the Diamond Cutter through the Diamond Cutter Institute. He he travels around the world, and he's been teaching since 1981, a Sanskrit, Tibetan, and Russian scholar and translator, and has translated over 20,000 pages in ancient scripture, which is pretty amazing to do so far, and I think there's more to come. He received his undergraduate degree from Princeton University, and also did a 3-year retreat in the Arizona desert. And he's the founder of these really amazing organizations, and kind of with some help for sure, has fundraised for helping many different organizations flourish in terms of saving ancient wisdom with the Asian Classics Input Project, which has been happening for over 25 years. And then also for 20 plus years has been sharing what he learned in the monastery through the Asian Classics Institute, starting off in New York City over 20 years ago, moving on to advanced studies at Diamond Mountain University, and now doing another round of Lam Rim courses and books such as this in Phoenix and around the world. And lastly, he's founder of multiple organizations also, like the Diamond Cutter Institute, the Yoga Studies Institute, Asian Classics Institute, and is the author of numerous books, including The Garden, The Diamond Cutter, How Yoga Works, and The King of the Dharma. So please welcome him. Thank you. Geshe Michael Rose.
It's like working the VCR. Exactly. When the teacher couldn't figure out how to push play.
I'll leave it. It's good. Okay, let's go. Cool. So I'd like to start with a meditation that we did this morning. So please get ready for meditation. Even dogs. Back straight. Eyes closed. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyelids. Relax the corners of your mouth. Relax your fingers. Pull in your tummy slightly. Relax your shoulders. And then slowly come to your breath. Watch your breath. Stay as still as a statue. Don't move anything. Don't move your fingers. Don't move any muscles in your face. Don't move your eyelids. And begin to watch your breath. Then I'd like to ask that you think of a dream that you've had in your life, something that you would like to be, or some relationship that you would like to have, some goal that you had in your life for your whole life, but that at some point in your life you decided it wasn't going to happen, that it wasn't possible. You gave it a try, or you had a strong wish that it would happen, but life hasn't allowed it to happen, and it's something you gave up on maybe not too long ago. If it suddenly happened, you'd still be happy, but you don't really see that it's possible right now. It seems impossible. So we can have a new word called impossible, and we all have several impossibles in our life. And I'd like you to pick one, a big impossible in your life, something you wanted to happen, maybe when you were younger, but it hasn't happened and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But you would still be really happy if it did happen. So please pick one impossible in your life. Try to get it very clear, like try to imagine that it came true and you had a relationship with someone that you thought was impossible, or you have a career or a job or like a talent to play music or something that you didn't think was possible. Try to picture the impossible as coming true in your life and try to see yourself in the middle of that impossible. Maybe you're with a certain person, or maybe you've reconciled with a certain person, or maybe you have a certain career that you wanted but you thought was impossible. So picture yourself as that impossible. We did this meditation this morning. Those of you who were there, you can use the same one. And I just gave an example, like a semi-serious example for myself, that I was imagining, like, I don't know, 10 years ago I tried to do some ballet and I had no idea how difficult it was, and I've done some, but I can't do most of the things that ballet people do. And at some point, it wasn't like a big come down or something. It wasn't something I really expected to be able to do very well, and I was just kind of enjoying it and having fun at it. And at some point in my mind, I just decided there were certain things I wouldn't be able to do. So in my case, I will pretend, or I will visualize myself, doing a very good job at ballet and what normal ballet people do, and I will imagine that being real, or this impossible dream coming true and becoming possible. So I'd like to ask that you just picture yourself in that situation or that dream that you always wanted to be in, but it never quite happened. So take a few moments and don't rush. And we're having a good time out in a beautiful evening in Arizona, and just relax and fantasize about that dream coming true and what would it feel like and what would it look like. And we'll just relax for a few minutes and you go into some kind of reverie of your own. Okay? Let it be pleasant and happy. Then please, I'd like you to think about all the things you would have to do to make that thing happen. So in my case, I'd have to, I don't know, find a teacher and take a lot of classes, and which means I'd have to make impossible changes in my schedule to have the time. to spend with that teacher, and then I'd have to eat healthy organic food all the time and give up on cookies, and I'd have to eat a bunch of vitamins that strengthen my bones, and think of all the things you'd have to do to make your dream come true normally. Like, if it's someone you're not getting along with, you'd have to send emails or texts, or you'd have to approach them through a friend. Or if it's a relationship you want, you'd have to sit down and explain it to the person more carefully than you did in the past. And, you'd have to try to arrange your life so you'd be bumping into this person and things like that. You might have to move to a different city. Think of all the things you'd have to do in the normal world to have this thing happen. And because there are so many things and they're so difficult to do, that's actually why you haven't done it yet. There are things that were out of your control or not possible given your situation in life. Try to imagine doing all the things you'd have to do to make your dream come true. And just relax and don't get too tense about it. Just play with the idea of things you'd have to do that you're not really going to do, that you'd have to do if you wanted to make that dream come true. And just go through some possibilities. Then please slowly come back to your breath. Watch your breath. Connect with your breath. And then when you're ready, please open your eyes. Stretch. Stretch your arms. So in my case, there was a long list of stuff I'd have to do, and it's all not possible. That's why I can't do that thing, I mean, for me, time is really hard, I would never have time to drive to Phoenix and take classes from Bo every week, and then, I'd have to get all this stuff in my house, and then I'd have to. I think the hardest thing is I'd have to eat well, which is out of the question, and stuff like that. Like it's just all these things that I'd have to do to make that happen. That I was doing, good ballet, and I just don't have time, and I don't have the means, and that's why it hasn't happened yet. Okay, and then you believed that. We believed that. So if it was a relationship, you in your heart you've given it some kind of a try, or you've flirted with the idea, you've played with the idea. Maybe if I got a hold of this person, and maybe if I changed my hairdo, or maybe if I wore different clothes, or lived in a different place, or you go through, what do you call it, possibilities or things you'd have to do. Okay. And this text that we're studying says that all of those reasons why something you'd like to do is impossible are completely irrelevant. Okay? So that's kind of, it's not like a change in attitude. It's not that by positive thinking I could do ballet, and you kind of sense that, I could think very positive and I still wouldn't have time to do ballet, and I still wouldn't have a 20-year-old body, like there are just some things that we feel we can't change, or they're not going to work out, okay? And you have your own list, and but what this text is saying is that all of those things that you thought would enable you to make that dream come true have nothing to do with that dream, okay? So this text is proposing that we have a radically wrong view of the things in our life which are impossible and which we think cannot happen. And if that's true, then, maybe you could do what you want to do that's impossible, okay? And if you learned a new way of doing things and a new way of seeing things, then in theory, you could do what you want. Anything could be possible if I got one. So, we went to Japan 100 times, and my Lama said 3,000 is good. And I'll just briefly talk about it. And someday it'll strike you that, oh wow, it'll be a big revelation. Okay, what's this thing? Pen. Okay, everybody else can go to sleep. Gelsey can answer and cutting. If a small dog, not those big German shepherds, came up here and I said, I waved this in front of them, they would bite it. So who's right, the dog or the human? Both. If I put it here and all the humans leave and all the dogs leave, which one is it? If the human walks in, it becomes a pen. If the dog walks in, it becomes a... If they both walk in together, it becomes both. Okay. By the way, there are two parallel realities going on, but I'm not going to talk about that. So can we say that the pen is coming from my mind? Then whatever impossible thing you have in your life that you've talked yourself into believing it's impossible, it's just like the pen, okay? It would be coming from you. If it's coming from you, it's coming from a seed in your mind, okay? Then you don't have to manipulate outside objects in your world to make that thing happen. I don't have to buy a ballet suit, and I don't have to find a teacher, and I don't have to find the time to do it or the money, and I don't have to try to get a teacher to move up to some obscure little town, and things that are not possible. In this, if the pen is coming from me, then for me to do the impossible thing that I always wanted to do, then I just have to learn how to plant the seed, okay? And I don't know, it just sounds dumb or simple, or people get bored and they say, Geshe-la, you're just repeating the same thing over and over again. And then they tell me I'm having trouble with my boyfriend, And I'm like, anyway. Okay, so in this system. Whatever your impossible was, it's coming from you. Okay, the impossibleness is coming from you. Okay, and you could change it to possible just by planting the correct seeds. All right, so we're gonna go do another meditation, and we're gonna talk about the process by which you're going to plant a seed to make the impossible happen. It's like I have no intention of becoming a professional ballet dancer. You know, I don't want to. I would just like to feel. I would like to do it, you know. I don't need to be on a stage or something. I would like to do it. I'd like to have the bodily strength and the coordination and the, you know. Like him. Hola, Mananim. Kobe Seder. I would like to be that. I'd like to do that. I'd like to be able to just walk out whenever I want to, every other week with no warm up and, you know, no training, and just run around like Nureyev or what's the other guy? Before that, Nijinsky. I like Nijinsky. So, you know, I'd like to do that. So we're going to do a meditation where we go through the causes, a different set of causes for doing that thing. And by the way, these two sets of causes are contradictory, okay? If the second set of causes is correct, the first set of causes had nothing to do with becoming a ballet dancer, okay? But we, all day long, we try to do things like that. All day long, we try to manipulate outside objects and get to do the things we want, okay? So we're going to meditate again. Get ready. Sit up straight. Is Ari down yet? Yeah. Okay. Good. Sit up straight. Close your eyes gently. Happily. It's such a beautiful evening, you know. It's nice to not be stressed out about meditating. The 3-year retreatants are. Come gently and happily to your breath. Watch your breath. Relax your face. Tuck in your tummy slightly and keep it there. It's a slight tension of your stomach muscles, abdominal muscles. Relax your eyes. Don't let your face tense up. And just watch your breath as if it's the only thing you have to do. Then please bring to mind clearly a vision of what you would like to happen. It could be a relationship, it could be a position, it could be some talent you'd like to have, it could be some kind of inner achievement like a peaceful state of mind, or the ability never to be upset with anyone, the ability to be joyful constantly, picture yourself as already having that. I'm like running around doing ballet things, okay? That's the first of 4 steps that we're going to use for a new way of getting the thing we gave up on already. Picture yourself having it. Secondly, try to think of someone in your life you know who wants something similar, very similar. In my case, someone who wants great health and strength and balance and can do yoga poses or dance poses that they would like to be able to do. Okay, choose someone in your life that you know would like to have the same thing or a similar thing. Step number 3, imagine a place and time when you could help that person in the next week from now. How are you going to contact them? How are you going to set up a meeting or some communication between you? Are you going to have to send an email or make a call? Or are you going to talk to them today in the break? Or imagine, picture very clearly something you could do that's very concrete and has a certain day of the week and a certain time and a certain place that you're going to help this person be what they would like to be or have what they would like to have, and make it real. And don't waste your time. Think of something practical that you can do, even if it's not very big, to help this person achieve the goal that they would like to achieve. And that's step number 3. And then please slowly come back to your breath. Watch your breath. Don't open your eyes. Watch your breath. And then you can slowly open your eyes. Take a stretch. help you not get sleepy. Maybe it's too late. Okay. If it's true that the pen is coming from something in my mind, and if it's true that I can put that seed in my mind by perhaps, for example, giving a pen to someone else, giving them what I want, and if it's true that what I would like to happen is coming from my own mind and it's not coming from having enough money or enough time or the right teacher or, then I can have the thing that I thought was impossible, okay? And we said this morning that the things that are already happening in your life are as possible as the thing you thought was impossible, okay? Either they're both impossible or they're both possible, but there's no difference, okay? Whatever's making stuff happen in this moment in your life could also make whatever you want happen in your life. It's the same forces at work. You just have to figure out what those are, okay? So if it's a miracle that I could dance, like some really good dancer in 6 months, then it's an equal miracle that I'm sitting here, okay? It's just that. They're equally difficult. They both have the same causes, okay? And we have this, I don't know, we talked about having a state of mind in your head that keeps you from thinking straight. And we gave the example of a science fiction book by Orson Scott Card that had a thing called the Oversoul. And it's a computer program. And its goal is to keep people from thinking about weapons that they could kill each other with. And every time someone gets close to inventing a tank or something, they start thinking about how hungry they are, how much they'd like a hamburger, and then they don't make the tank, and then they've figured out in their civilization that this is how to keep people from hurting each other. So every time the mind gets close to something that's not allowed, the computer confuses them and makes them think of something else, okay? And you have the same thing going on in your head, okay? I can sit here for 20 days in a row. I can do the same 4 steps with you, and you will get up and have the same life that you had yesterday, tomorrow, and you'll think that you can't do certain things because you don't have the money or the time or the circumstances, and that's not where they're coming from, okay? I don't know how to... But then when your mind tries to grapple with that, you forget, and you think of other things, and you get distracted, and you're wondering when the refreshments are coming and stuff like that, okay? It's some kind of... Buddhism says, I think it's the closest thing to original sin in Buddhism, that there's something in your mind that won't let you focus on where things really come from for longer than a few minutes. And then your mind will revert to its normal state, and you'll start thinking, how would I have the money to hire a ballet teacher, How could I get the time, How could I fit these feet in those shoes? Like that. Your mind just automatically goes to that. Why? According to Buddhism, you've been thinking that way for many, many lifetimes, like billions of lifetimes. So it's very difficult to break out of it, It's like a human talking to the dogs, a big group of dogs, and saying, you could use this to write something, and they're all like drooling, and how do you make that breakthrough? How do you talk somebody into trying to get something that they believe is impossible and that they perceive as impossible? How do you... I don't know, maybe I should just go through and slap everybody or something. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to get a person to think that way, Buddhism says that since the second method is correct, if you keep talking about it, sooner or later people will try it. And then it will work, and then they'll get used to trying that new method, which is what? Plant the thing you want. Just plant the thing you want. Nothing is impossible, okay? And we had an interesting time this morning because we were discussing the idea. What was the idea? About impossibles. at the end, just before the yoga class. Huh? That there could be a physical basis for believing that certain things are impossible. How much can the train hang out there? That there could be a physical basis. There could be, if it's true, Buddhism says that thought itself rides upon prana, chi, lung, a force inside your body. Buddhism says that your thoughts ride upon those channels, okay? On those winds, inner energy, right? And that those winds, manipulating or adjusting those inner winds is the purpose of yoga exercises, asana. So, in theory, the idea that something is impossible will have a physical parallel somewhere in your body. Probably it's some kind of stiffness in a certain place that you've had much of your life, or headaches that you get, or a back problem, or something like that. So somewhere in your body is the physical parallel of the belief that certain things are impossible in your life. I will never have that relationship with that person, or it's impossible that I would have that kind of position, or it's not true that I could become a real rock and roll star instead of a backyard in Glendale, Arizona rock and roll star. You know, like, you have a list of stuff in your mind that you think can't ever happen. And there should be a physical parallel to that in your body, because the mind and the body are connected intimately inside the channels, right? So one thing you can do is to think clearer, is to do frequent exercises that loosen up prana, okay? And that means try to do yoga every day, and it will loosen up your thoughts, and things will seem possible that don't seem possible now, okay? That's one. Then study is very important. So we're going to continue with the text now, finally, since it's almost time for the break. We'll continue with the text, but the text is all about what I've been talking about, okay? The text is all about impossibles and why they're possible, okay? And if you attend these 2 days and you don't try to make something impossible happen, you're kind of, I don't know, it's crazy. Like, why'd you come here? You know, what, you know, to listen to the music? I mean, really? So, you know, try something this week. Pick a small thing. Do an experiment, you know. Instead of manipulating outside conditions, try to plant it with somebody else. You need somebody else. I've read science fiction my whole life. So in 8th grade, I read a book by Robert Heinlein called not Stranger in a Strange Land. It was worse than that. No, I mean, that's one of the greatest books ever written, but it was called... There are these little creatures that attach themselves to the back of your neck, and they take over your body, and then you become like a, I don't know, puppet master. It's called the puppet master, I think. And they're like aliens, and they hang on the back of your spine, and then they take over your being, you know. And then, you know, you gotta watch your girlfriend, because she might have one, and they've spread, you know, and like that. Anyway, it's like, how to say, you can take over your, study certain new ways of taking over your life and see, okay? Try. So try it, okay? Otherwise, I don't know why to come to these things. I mean, it's nice to see everybody. We have 3-year retreatants here from Canada, from California, and from some godforsaken place in Arizona. And it's nice to see everybody, but why not try something, okay? Try. Because why spend your whole life not having the thing you wanted to be, you know? So just try it. But it takes somebody else. You have to have a partner, okay? You cannot do it by yourself, okay? All right, so we've been in a text. It was written in the 16th century, and we've been studying this text for I don't know how many years, 3, 4 years. And I don't know how far we are through it. I don't worry about those things. And I think we're on verse, that I know, we're on verse 124, okay? And I'm going to read the Tibetan and then I'm going to explain the Tibetan. Okay, so here we go. Deni tongni gyangche tsul kurang rangshin tongban ni songwe dundu ma khowar dune tombani shukyang tongbar song tsul ma khowe ngai nyambo shirabde dega rang tu khasong me nyambo mena chichir no ngani depale uchi. Okay, what's the word nga mean? Nga, me or I? Okay, who's using nga a lot here? The devil in your mind. Okay, who is the devil in your mind? Is the part of your mind that thinks to do ballet, you'd have to quit your other work, move to Phoenix, have a regular teacher, get some independent source of income, have a body that's 40 years younger, etc. Okay, that's the devil. All right, the devil says that to your mind. Okay, the devil's in your mind and says that. So me in this text is the devil. All right, so here we go. Deni tongni gyangche tso. So we were talking about people who they're like got very good at the pen. Every time Geshe-la starts talking about the pen, they actually start to fall asleep. I've confirmed it this afternoon. Okay, somebody in the audience went almost dead asleep. The moment I pulled it out, they were like, their eyes go, you know, and they're like, why are you talking about that thing? You see, why are you talking about that pen? Why are we talking about the pen? In this context, right here, last night, at the end of the night, what did he say about talking about pens? He's criticizing. Yeah, you forget that we're really talking about you, okay? We're not talking about pens. Who cares about pens? You want a pen, go down the street. You know, buy one in the store. I mean, it's not a big spiritual realization or level, you know. What we're saying is that your being, your life, your occupation, your relationships, what you can or cannot do are all the same as the pen, okay? And if you discuss pens, if you fall asleep during the pen talk, it means you didn't get it, okay? It's about us. It's not about a pen, you know. Every time we talk about the pen, we're trying to apply it to us, okay? Not deni tong ni gyang che tso. People think that emptiness is something far away. Gyang means far away, okay? They think, oh, emptiness is out there in the pen, you know. I used to stare at the door in the class. Rinpoche would go on for 25 years talking about emptiness. And I used to stare at the door in the class. The door was to the side of him, you know, and I would be staring at the door and saying, what am I doing wrong? Just tell me, Rinpoche, you know. How am I perceiving the door wrong? Just tell me, you know. Like, it was frustrating for me. I got really frustrated, you know. I'm like, there's a door. You have to go through the door to get into this classroom. It's a white door. I helped build it. I understand the door. But I'm doing something wrong with the door. According to the text, I'm doing something drastically wrong with the door that keeps me from being a ballerina. Okay, so just tell me, Rinpoche, you know, just tell me, you know. Tell me what I'm doing wrong and I'll stop, I promise. If you tell me, I promise I'll stop, you know. And I waited for so long. And I'm like, just tell me what I'm doing wrong, okay? And what he says here is, you begin to understand that things are coming from seeds in your mind, but you apply it to other stuff and other people, especially people you want to correct. All right? Don't you understand that? Okay? All right? Okay? The fact that that person themselves is empty, like the pen. What does empty mean? At which point in the discussion of the pen do we hit emptiness? Was it this part, or was it this part, or was it this part? Yeah, it's the part where I left it on the table. I said the people went out and the dogs went out. And then, is it a pen or is it a chewed toy? And you said, neither. You're supposed to go like that, okay? Practice. Okay, I don't know. I asked this ballerina, I said, how do you get your neck so long? And she said, there's a secret. I'm like, tell me, you know. And they say, don't try to make your neck longer. Just put your shoulders lower. Okay, so I told you a secret. Okay, it's nothing. At that point, it's nothing, okay? これはワシントン場に、somewhere doing the Makoa, say Koa. So Koa has two meanings, okay? Koa can mean to hear, and Koa can mean to understand. So he says they don't get it that they themselves are empty, okay? They understand it about the pen. When no one's in the room, the pen's neither a pen nor a chew toy. But they don't get it about themselves, okay? They think that what they decided was impossible in their life has to be impossible, okay? It cannot be possible. They decided. It's only one way, okay? Understand? Okay, all right. Dune tombani shukyang. Emptiness is there in front of them all. I almost cursed, but anyway, I'm not supposed to do that. My Lama said not to do that. Emptiness is right in front of their eyes all day long. Shoot. Tombani dun to shoot means it's right in front of them, okay? How does the Dake start? What's the first word in the Tibetan Dake of Vajrayogini? Dunkin nanga lama kolo domba ya yuna zagigi lama yidam chansan. Okay? Dun. Dun means right in front of you. You know, dunkin namkar. In this space, in front of you, in midair. Okay? So dune, emptiness is sitting around you all the time. Shukyang, tomba song so makoar, they don't get it. They don't understand how it's emptiness. Okay? Ngai nyambo shirapte. Okay, so it's true, if you get wisdom in your mind, it would be the nyambo for me. Who's me? I don't like ignorance, so don't say ignorance. Let's say like misunderstanding your world. Very actively, efficiently, constantly, unawarely, totally misunderstanding everything that's going around you. So that all your actions are mistaken. All the actions you undertake to do things that you want are irrelevant to getting what you want. The only way to get what you want is to provide it to somebody else first. Okay? Alright? Then everything else you do to be happy, everywhere you drive, every action you undertake, everything you say to anybody, everything you spend, everything you earn, it's all irrelevant. It has nothing to do with being happy. Okay? Just plant a seed and things are fine. Okay? Nani nyambo. So the antidote for me, who's me? Misunderstanding your life is shiram. They call it wisdom, but I don't know if you'd call it wisdom. Is it wisdom when you look at the pen and say, oh, it's coming from me? I mean, wisdom sounds like something that Solomon has and we don't have, you know? I don't know if wisdom is such a good translation. As I get older, I start to question these things, you know? It just means understanding where stuff comes from. Shiram. So that's the antidote to not understanding where things come from, okay? If you don't understand where things come from, you will work the whole day. You will schedule your day, you will go here and there, you will do different things, for example, to make money, or to get relationships, or to be healthy. You will undertake all kinds of things that have nothing to do with it. I was in Russia, okay? I had an inspiration one day. I was teaching somebody, I think it was in St. Petersburg, and I was up there on the stage and I was talking about, you know, and then Russians are easy to irritate. And I mean, they're irritated before you walk in, so it's not a big deal. So, you know, so I'm like, then finally when I go, почему вы сделаете это? Это очень неприятно. You know, that's really bugging me, you know, what you're doing with the microphone. I'm like, what? And then he says, you know, почему? You know, why are you doing that? I'm like, oh, you mean this banging on the microphone thing? And he's like, yes, why are you doing that? I said, well, I have to. And he says, well, why? And I said, well, I have to make the sun come up tomorrow. And he says, I don't understand. I said, I do this every day on the microphone when I'm giving talks. And the next morning, the sun always comes up. So can you imagine what would happen if I stopped? Crops would die. Nobody could get a suntan. Like the world would freeze to death. I have to do this every day. And then he's like, that doesn't cause the sun to come up. And I'm like, no. Every time I do it, the sun comes up. Oh yeah, but that's just, there's no connection between what you're doing and the sun coming up. And then I'm like, everything you do in the day, every single action, every single conversation, every single thing you schedule, all the things you do to attempt to get stuff and be happy and have relationships, they're all like banging on a microphone. They have nothing to do with getting what you, nothing. It's very frustrating. Just do something for other people that's similar to what you want. And the things you want will come. And then you don't have to run around all day. You don't have to be over busy all day and lose sleep and, be a wreck. And you don't have to do all those things. Just do something for other people that you want. And then relax. Go read a science fiction book or something. Okay? Like that. Anyway, Sharabni, they got wrong to Ka Song Me, okay? People don't understand where stuff comes from, so their attempt at understanding where stuff comes from, it melts away. They can't. They lose it. Like in the middle of the class when they're not sleepy, they get it for 10 minutes. And then after the class, they automatically forget it. There's some kind of human automated forgetter. Okay? Nyambo mena chi no, if the, what do you call it? If the counter agent to misunderstanding your life never enters your brain, okay? Got it? If you never go to a talk about the pen, okay? Then the last line here is very poignant. I think so. And I get to talk, so I don't care. Ngani depa le uchi. Say ngani depa le uchi. Wa is a difficult word, okay? Wa is the real meaning of arhat. Wapa is the real meaning of arhat. Arhat can be split as arhat or arhant. Okay? Arhat, which means to hunt, which means to, the verb is hunt. The word gun comes from it. It means to smite. Ar means an enemy. Hat means to smite an enemy. The Tibetans misunderstood the word. Okay? It's really arhant, which means to possess. Means to be worthy. Okay? And the classical explanation is that an arhat is someone who is worthy to be bowed to by those who haven't reached nirvana. Okay? And the Tibetan scriptures will have, the old scriptures will say, arhats, enemy destroyers are called enemy destroyers because they're worthy of prostration. Because they just translated it and they didn't get it. So anyway, arh means to be worthy. Okay? And upa means worthy. Word chi means, why would it be appropriate? Okay, why would it be worthy or appropriate if, what other thing than, the lay is not karma, okay, or from, it's the comparative, than, T-H-A-N. Nani dupa. Dupa means to stay in a place, okay? For me to stay here, why would anything else be appropriate, okay? Who's me? Yeah, misunderstanding your life actively misunderstanding every aspect of your life. It'll stay in your mind. Why would anything else happen if you don't go to a pen class. Why would you think anything else would happen? What would inspire you to do something differently? You see what I mean? If no one taught you that the pen was coming from you, then of course the ignorance should stay in your mind. Anything else would be strange, because there's no force to compete with. He could just live there, and he does. Okay, that's the devil in this story. Okay, what is the devil? It's thinking that you have to say things and do things and strive and work hard and drive here and there and say this and that and meet so-and-so and text so-and-so. And, all of those things that have nothing to do with what you want to be. Okay? If you want to be a ballet dancer, don't take vitamins. Don't go to class. Don't find a teacher. Don't cancel all the rest of your life so you have time to be a ballet dancer. Okay? Just help someone else who wants to be healthy. And then one day you'll be up there and you'll be dancing and you don't remember why. Okay? Because that's how you got here, to sit here, to hear the talk about how to get what you want. It's the same. That's how you got, there's no difference. Okay? All right? And if you don't start thinking like that, then misunderstanding is going to stay in your mind forever. Because why would it be weird for him to do anything else? Because there's nothing to make him leave. Okay? Got it? I think the last line is very, I don't know. He's like, what do you expect, If you don't want me here, think. But if you don't think, then stop complaining. Because I'll be here. Because why would I be anywhere else? Why would I want to leave, Who would make me leave? If you don't start thinking about where your life comes from, okay? All right. Let's go to the next verse. Lala Chiton Dujal Ki. This is verse number 125. How do you know when you're getting old? You read like this. Lala Chiton Dujal Ki. Chepe Shin to Dakpe Tse. So some people get the reasoning for emptiness really good. They understand it, okay? Is this one pen? When I throw it down, is it one pen or a couple of pens? Which one is it? No, who said one? When the dogs have left and when the people have left and I throw this thing on the table and no one's here to see it as a pen or as a chew toy, how many pens are on the table? One or multiple? Yeah, that's called Chitra Delka Tensik. Okay, that's a famous Buddhist proof of emptiness. Okay, and now you got it. You understand it. Okay? Is it one pen or two? Just say neither, okay? It's not a pen because the human hasn't come back yet. Got it? Is the thing that's impossible in your life one impossible thing or two impossible things? Because we're not talking about pens. We're talking about your life. Is the thing in your life that you could never get one impossible thing or two impossible things? The answer is neither. Okay, yeah, Dennis got it. Okay, yeah. It's just neither. It's not one, it's not two. That's called Chitta Delka Densik. It's one of the proofs for emptiness. Got it? Just nod. Nodding is the direct path to refreshments. Chebe Shindu Darpe say, Chebe Ngundu Songwe Ser, Gom Kar Mikte Medo Ser. Okay, this is a very famous misunderstanding, and then I'll give you refreshments, okay? And we'll go a little bit late. Surprise. The important word here is mikte, which is a very, very difficult expression. Okay, mikpa, as we said in the earlier class today, means to see something or focus on something. It's a verb. It's like when you eye a girl. The noun is what? And I have two eyes, but I'm eyeing a cute boy in the class. Okay, so it's the same in Tibetan. The word for eye, this eye, EYE, is mik low tone, and you make a verb out of it by making it stronger. So mik. Okay, mikte is a very difficult expression. It means a way of seeing something. Okay, mikte, or how you direct your mind towards something. It's called mikte. There's a famous line in Jetsun Kappa where he says, Mikte me. There is no mikte, okay? There's no way to see things, okay? Something like that. Here he says, Gom kar mikte me do ser. Ser we had today. We said high tone ser was gold. We said low tone ser was to claim falsely, to claim wrongly that something is true. This person who's talking here now has said, once you understand the thing about the pen on the table and you focus on it, your mind goes into nothingness. You don't think about anything. And that's some kind of spiritual goal. You know, the karma of spacing out at that level is that you become an absent-minded professor, okay? So people who leave their keys everywhere and they're always calling you and asking you if you have their cell phone or their wallet, or, you know, it could be, it's not always the case, but it could be that they've been trying to do this meditation where they try to think about nothing. They try not to think about anything, okay? The karmic result of that is you just get like this, you know. You know, you see people like, what are you doing? Huh? You know, what are you doing? You know, they like, I don't know, I lost something. What is it? I don't remember. Like that. It's a fuzzy mindedness that comes from trying to think about nothing. Okay? Mikte. Mepa. So, what famous a yoga scripture has those in the opening lines that yoga teachers all over the world constantly interpret as not thinking about anything? Yeah, the definition of yoga in the second line of the Yoga Sutra, okay, the most famous book on sutra ever written, the second line, the author defines yoga as stopping the way the mind turns. And then yoga teachers all over the world, it's kind of like, it's either tragic or funny, but I'm not sure yet. They're like, stop thinking, you know, don't think so much, or try not to think about anything, you know. That's yoga. Yoga is trying not to think about anything, you know. Stop all activity of the mind. It's a little better to say stop your busy mind. Some people say it that way, but that you can't do that either. What's the correct meaning of that? Stop the way your mind... Yeah, your mind twists things. The word vritti, which they mispronounce as vritti, is the root of the word weird. It means twisted. And wire comes from it also. It literally means twisted. So your mind twists things. Like you think things are impossible that are totally possible if you would just do those 4 steps to get them. Right? What were the 4 steps? Decide what you want. Number 2. Find someone who wants the same thing. Number 3. Help them do it. Number 4, we didn't do tonight. We didn't do it. We didn't do it yet. Okay? We're going to do it after refreshments. Okay? Or while you're sleeping. Yila chiang mi sampar. Say, the next line says Yila chiang mi sampar. Okay? Say chiang me. Chiang me. It's a very famous mistaken meditation. It's like totally famous. Okay? It has its own name, which is chiang me. Chiang me means nothing at all. Nothing at all. Okay? And that's a 1,000-year-old mistake in meditation. It means try to think about nothing. Okay? Chiang me. Try to think about nothing. Rinpoche used to say, if you want to do chiang me, just have 4 or 5 beers. And don't go all through this effort of, you know, finding a retreat cabin, building one, sitting there for 3 years, while Ellie and I try to feed you cacao nibs from Venezuela. And I don't want the ones from Colombia. I want the ones from Venezuela. I'm just joking. And so anyway, if you want to meditate on that, just get very drunk or something. Like drink a lot until you pass out, and then you can almost think about nothing. You actually can't think about nothing, but you can try. Okay. Chia mi sampar. Nyamba shape nese. They think that's what you should meditate on. Okay, that's meditation according to them. This mistaken viewpoint. One more line, okay? You all right? Your butts are sore, but tomorrow you can lay on your tummy all day. Ila chegi mepade ngadan zintang gawatsar. Okay? I'm on verse 126. Yila chegi mepade, trying to think about nothing. To think that ngadan zintang gawa, to think it in any way contradicts the way that I see stuff. Who's I? Ignorance, the devil. To think that thinking about nothing could in any way cause me trouble in your mind. My continued presence in your mind could threaten me in any way. Okay, I'll say it again. To think that meditating about nothing at all could in any way impact on my continued presence in your mind is tsar, okay? This tsar is spelled with an M in front of it, okay? Without the M, it means to finish something. Like tsar chupa means to, it means to kill somebody, okay? To put them to an end. But with a mao, with an M in front of it, it means ngotsar, which means strange. Okay, there used to be the way I learned this word was I used to read the Tibetan newspaper at breakfast all the time in the monastery. Why? Because my teacher refused to talk Tibetan to me, and he talked Tibetan to the guy I was jealous of, but he made me speak English all day, and I was really irritated, so I didn't talk at breakfast. I read the Tibetan newspaper and ignored both of them. Okay. You think I'm kidding. Anyway, there was always a little box in the Tibetan newspaper that said Ngotsar Ngunchung, which means weird but really happened. It was like Ripley's Believe It or Not. There was a little box called Weird but Really Happened. And the weird is Ngotsar, okay? So to think that my continued presence in your mind, poisoning your mind, making you think things are impossible in your life, to think that in any way I could be threatened by the idea of meditating on nothing is tsar. Weird. You're weird. Weirdo. Okay, got it? I can't describe how weird the word is here. It's like, he's like saying, weird. It's like, you think that meditating on nothing or trying to think about nothing is in any way going to impact on the poison I'm pouring into your head? Tsar. It's like weird, what a weird idea. Okay? Like, the devil has a sense of humor here. Okay. Ngame gombar matangna saptan mingni chirtakyang. It's a difficult expression in English, in Tibetan. Ngame gombar matangna. If something isn't a meditation which might lead to my absence from your mind or kicking me out of your mind, saptan mingdar chirtakyang, you can call it some cool meditation. For example, Dzogchen or Mahamudra, or what's the other one? Poa or Ch, Chod. You can have all these like really exotic names and exotic sounding things like go into the void, or like disappear into nothingness, or what do they call that? The great completion, or and the first Panchen Lama is directly criticizing those things. He's like, oh, come on, like a cool name is not enough. if it has no effect on my continued presence in your mind, it's just BS. It's useless. You know, Ming Tak Yang means you can call it, you can give it some exotic name, but it doesn't change the fact that it has no effect on me. It's weird to think it could. It's weird to think that thinking about nothing could possibly improve your mind. Okay. Ngani nupe chok naang me. It doesn't even approach anything that would hurt me. Not only is it nothing that would hurt me, it's not even close to anything that would hurt me. Okay. Sherab gomba kema ne. Say kema ne, and then I'll let you have refreshments. If you get it right. Kema ne. Oops. Kema ne. Kema ne. Kemo is an ancient word that means laughter. Ne means a place of laughter. Kema ne means that's a joke, man. Okay? Who said that? Ignorance. Okay? The devil said, you think that meditating, trying to think about nothing at all is going to have any effect on me? Kema ne. You know, this is a joke. It's just a joke, you know. You must be kidding. It means literally you must be kidding, okay? It's very harsh. It's very, in Tibetan, it's very, very harsh. To say, some guy gets up and starts talking about Dzogchen or something, and you just say, Kema ne, you know. Are you kidding me? You know, you want me to think about nothing? It's not possible to think about nothing, okay? So don't frustrate yourself. I mean, not only is it useless, you can't do it anyway. Okay, got it? All right. Sorry. So it's about 8:55. If you have to go home, that's okay. Or another option is to have refreshments and stay, and we'll do questions and answers. And Tim might have something to say before that. I'm supposed to stall for a few moments. Aside from the extra baked goods you might be receiving tonight, there is a bake sale, Rebecca? Yeah, so just to review, we have a bake sale every time we have a program in the United States. And the money we make from the bake sale goes to sending young people to a Tibetan monastery to study. And this year, the team will be mostly poor kids from our Mexican group, poor young people from our Mexican group. They want to go study in the Tibetan monastery. And they're getting very serious. They include some Huichol people. So Huichol are like Apache or Navajo, or they're the local people, of the native people of in the area of the Sierra Madres in Guadalajara. So I think it's very cool that we are sending Huichol Buddhist people to go study at the monastery. So the way that you can help that to happen is twofold. Eat as much as you can at the break, and overpay as much as you can. So if you pay less than $20 for a cookie, you're a loser. I mean, I'm just my opinion. Okay, so though, you know, if I said we're all going to the movies after the talk, but it's going to cost $25, people would lay it down without a hesitation. But if I say pay $20 for a cookie, they're all like, okay, just do it. Okay, that's more important that the Huichol kids go to a Tibetan monastery than that we go to a movie. But that doesn't mean we can't go to a movie. Okay.
So I'm going to invite a few people up because we have a special, maybe award for a few of you. You have the Tamara. You have a great look on your face. You're not on the list. I'm sorry. Can I invite Nicole? Yep. Orit. Rebecca. David's. I don't know how to pronounce it. There's a P and an F. Stump. Yep. And Betts. Can you all just come on? Come on. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, come on. Yeah. What's that? So, and Gunnar too. Adam. I'm sorry. Who's Katie? Okay, Gracie too. Wow, this is great. This award is getting really awesome. What's that? Oh, the dog. Oh. That's great. Yeah. Yes, we're ready. It's everyone's birthday, so let's sing to them. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you. And to get a piece of cake, it's about $20 too. So either way, enjoy your break.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, please.
You gotta lead the way.
Have you come down after?
just a while.
We're here.
So can I submit someone that I heard you referenced in the last station.
Yeah, because the food was not enough. Well, we had to get yesterday. Anyway, so early diving with the food and so that we could cook the food and diving. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, only
Like Rose was writing it now.
No, I wanted to take it for 7 Okay.
These are replaced for. These are training.
Yes, we're going to be
Yeah, and I will have the SUV, so there's plenty of room. I think they might have shit.
Yeah, well, I mean, we are...
So yeah, we're the first one. So that's why. And if everybody wants to go to a pool party, oh my gosh, really? The water would probably be right there on the threshold of like
Yeah, so we obviously have to around. This is
okay, so it's Laredo.
He's like the spirit.
So yeah, I'll give you guys a text in the late morning, and then in case you want to go
Another fork and a napkin. Nom nom nom. Yummy nom nom.
elaborated about who you are and what you do. I've been checking out different websites and just listening to your work. You blew my mind.
Thank you so much.
Sunrise tours, sunset tours. I like the sunset tours rather than sunrise too. I agree. Thank you so much. Next summit, he's also very grateful for your presence. That's my dog. So you just want to be close to your
Johnny? Nick. Johnny. Sal. Anatole. Anatole. Can you get the sound? Can you get the sound? Thank you.
Oh, Tim, don't move. Don't move. You have to, okay, move like 1 inch to the right. My right? My right. Okay, now 1 inch to the left. Perfect. Stay right there.
Yeah, they're not.
You can do whatever you want. I do. I don't know if it's going to show up on my camera. Oh, you're fit. You're going to... What's up? Are you guys talking about tomorrow? Are you guys talking about tomorrow? I did.
Oh, we're checking the schedule.
No, I need to go. Yeah. Oh, no. You know there's raw carrots. Alright, come on, Jay. There's like raw, Anatole made raw Yeah, I see the, whatever raw
Yeah, Anatole's
At some point I want to talk about tomorrow, since you want to, there's still room tomorrow. Are you still leaving? You're going to leave tonight. Have the last call.
I didn't bring anything to David.
Thought I had it right where I wanted it to. I predict. It will see me. It doesn't matter if
Try to meet Lisa's parents at noon. What time's the thing? What time's the thing?
I have no idea. It's a great question.
Yeah, it depends on that.
You also didn't answer that.
It sounds like a good idea.
Somebody asked me to do some more verses because they wanted more candy. So I'll do a few more verses and then we'll do some quick questions. We'll probably end around 10. If you have other things to do, or you're tired, or your kids are waiting, or you want to go to McDonald's or something, just look, just go ahead and don't feel shy, okay? Then I'd ask Tim to cover some stuff before I start back on the verses, okay?
I just wanted to give a few thank yous because there were so many people that helped out, and I'm actually looking around and I probably could just say everyone stand up and applaud for each other. So I didn't really write anything down, which that's the biggest no-no when you're doing a thank you because you're gonna leave people out. But I'd like to thank Nick, who did Nick and Rebecca did a lot of work of finding the venue last minute. We had some last minute shifts, so I'd like to thank them for arranging all of that and making this possible. Oh, and Esther helped out a lot as well for that. We have our tech team, Scott and Orit, who are dedicated to recording and making this possible for people who aren't here. And it goes up online the same day, so people can watch it. So, we also have Adam as well, who's been helping out, and he's been doing a lot of projection, and he's helping along with the Tibetan, so you all can learn as well. So let's thank him for that. I want to say thank you to everybody, but specifically I'd also like to thank Jigme for all of her hard work and dedication. She seems to work tirelessly. She keeps telling me how tired she is, but but she is incredibly dedicated to the cause and to spreading the Dharma and to serving, and she deserves another round of applause, I think. Yes. And finally, you can offer that. I'd just like to thank Geshe-la for teaching us and to he also teaches and works tirelessly for us, tirefully. He doesn't seem as tired as Jigme, but I don't know. So thank you very much. Please keep teaching and stay. Thank you. And just give a round of applause to everybody who helped out, because you all make this possible. And we hope to see you soon. I also want to let you all know that we have the next big event we have planned is in October. We're going to be doing the next retreat. Do I have something on my face? Oh. A little stub. She kept if we're going to be having our next retreat in October at Diamond Mountain for the Lam-Rim teaching. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be a great experience. And then following in November, we'll be back in Phoenix for another 10 days. So we hope to see you soon, and I don't want her to do this.
Because we didn't have anyone lined up to run this, and he just swooped in from Philadelphia and organized everything. And he's still doing it, so thank you so much, Tim.
Jiggy, my computer? Yeah. It is in my bag, which Rob Haggerty is watching. The thinner one. And a flash disk, okay? Okay. So just a few more verses because Mr. Connor requested it. He's probably left already. Okay. Okay, 2 more verses for good luck for the road. Lala Chetan Tutaki, Chebe Mani Decher, Nani Dember Mepai, Rikshe Jebaktini, Gyunla Chitu Nyambajo. This gets difficult, that's why I stopped. There's a line of reasoning which leads to the emptiness thing, okay? Thank you. And it's the pen thing up to the time I throw it on the table, okay? So the whole, and what comes after also. So the whole idea that the pen, the reason you see a pen is that you have a seed in your mind, which you put there by sharing pens in the past, okay? All right? Yeah. So you've planted that seed in your mind, and we talked about 3 steps to it, okay? And we didn't get to the 4th step, so we have to do that. But there's a line of reasoning that the reason you're seeing a pen is because you have a seed in your mind, okay? By the way, those of you who care, the DCI people know, because we talk about it in DCI, but if you had a different seed in your mind, or if another seed in your mind which has been there for a long time suddenly asserted itself, you would want to chew the pen. You would be overcome by uncontrollable desire to chew on the pen. You would be salivating when I hold up the pen. Okay? That would be because an older seed in your mind, to see it as something to chew on, had asserted itself over the pen seed. So the pen seed, every time you look at the pen seed gets worn out. And sooner or later the pen seed dies. And then it's immediately replaced by some other seed. And so we have lots of seeds. We have countless seeds in our minds. So at some point, a seed might assert itself that causes you to see it as something to chew. Okay? And at that moment, you have become a dog. Okay? So try to appreciate that moving into another life form happens in the space of less than a minute. Okay? It's not that you have to die and go somewhere and they zip open the back of your body and they catch your soul and they put another soul. You know, it's not like there's a factory in Kansas that makes dog bodies and they have a zipper on the back and they catch your soul and you have to throw it in. Don't think of rebirth as your soul inhabiting a new body. That's not the way it happens. The seed shifts slightly in your mind and suddenly you see it as a chew toy and that makes you a dog. Try to understand that. You see what I mean? It's not that your body changes. Your body doesn't change. Okay? Try to understand. You see the pen as a chew toy. Then you is a dog. Because you see the pen as a chew toy. Okay? And then when you hold up your arm you see a paw. Okay? It's not like the hand drops off and gets replaced by a paw or something like that. It's not like that. The seed shifts slightly. So you don't have to die, you don't have to go to a hospital and get cancer and lay there. You could change, you could be a dog by morning. Okay? And it happens to everybody. If they don't have training and they don't do something, it happens to everybody. They do become a dog by morning. It happens to everybody. Okay, everyone who dies becomes something, okay? Because there's just a slight shift in your seeds, okay? Also, making the impossible happen is the same thing. You can go the other way also. You can become an angel by tomorrow morning if you could shift the seeds. You see what I mean? If you could see it, an angel would see this as a means of affecting countless people on this planet to follow these ideas. They wouldn't see it as a pen. They would see it as a shining golden sword of wisdom, Okay? Same object. So it's possible to go both ways, okay? All right. Hang on, I got some. Oh, not that. Gail? Yeah. Okay. Can you give that to Adam and tell him to play it when I tell him to, but not before? It's just a Word document, but I want to display it when we're ready. Okay. Okay. Where were we? Oh, he's doing that. Okay. Lala chita dundal ki chepe manye de che ngani demba mepai riksha je pakteni. So the series of the thought process by which I describe to you how you're seeing the pen, okay? Like I go through that whole dog spiel, okay? And you should learn to do it, and you should learn it word by word. It's something you should learn word by word, because each part is important to helping people. And I haven't found another way. There are other examples I give, like aspirin, but it's not the same. The pen seems to be uniquely effective, and you should learn how to teach it, okay? That thought process, okay? Question. Now comes a question. The first Panchen Lama is not dealing in obvious things. He's dealing in subtleties. The whole book is subtleties. Is understanding how the pen comes from a seed opening in your mind and a small luminous image coming out of that seed and attaching itself to this object, is that emptiness? No. Is to follow that process mentally the perception of emptiness? No. It's the perception of the brother of emptiness, which is, they call it dependent origination, which is like a really irritatingly weird word, you know, but it's correct. It means stuff happens based on seeds, okay? That's all. That's the dependent, later. Questions later. That's the dependent part. Origination means stuff happens. Stuff happens because you have seeds in your mind. That's all. That's dependent origination. To understand that is not the same as understanding emptiness. Now, why is that a big deal? To perceive emptiness directly has a unique effect on your being. You become a different creature. Within 20 minutes you evolve to a higher life form called an Arya, okay? You become it's a different life form. It's not a human. It's not a normal human. It's something, Arya means something different, totally different, okay? It's a different form of life. It's a higher evolution of life. Okay, so if you can see emptiness, your being changes radically. And from that moment on, you will be the next Buddha on that planet, for example, okay? But to understand the pen thing is not, it doesn't have the same effect, okay? It's important because you can't get to the emptiness without seeing the pen thing. You can't get to the first one without the second one, okay? So you have to go through that. Now, why are we talking about that? In this verse, I'll just go between the toots. In this verse, he's describing what happens. Some people get hung up on the pen thing and they never meditate. Okay? They go around in the DCI tours and talk about the pen thing over and over again. And they don't meditate on it, okay? So they don't have that breakthrough where they become an Arya. You see what I mean? And then other people meditate for a long time but don't study the pen thing, and it's the same problem, okay? So ideally, you go to a class, you hear about the pen thing, and then you go cogitate, how can I make the impossible stuff happen in my life, okay? And then something radical will happen to you, okay? The thing you had in your mind called impossible, you understand that it never was. Okay, the image in your mind of Michael as a very good ballet dancer, without having to change his schedule much, that fades away because it's not true. Okay, the reason he didn't reach that dream was not because he didn't have the money or the time or the physical body. It was that he didn't plant the seeds. You see, so the impossible ballet dancer that used to be there fades, disappears. That's emptiness. Okay? What happens to your impossible after a good teaching about the pen, is that your impossible fades away because it was always unreal. It was always not correct. There are no impossibles. You can do anything. You can become anything. You have been everything except enlightened. Okay? I mean, you've been everything. All the boys here have been in Miss America countless times. And, all the ladies have been, I don't know, president, the Pope. You've been the Pope countless times. How's that? Okay? Like, you've been everything, and so nothing's impossible. It's not true that anything's impossible because it's coming from seeds. You just plant the seed and it happens, okay? So the thing that you used to think was impossible was a falsehood, and it never existed, and it was an illusion. That's the meaning of illusion, okay? Got it? Until you get to that point where the impossible fades away, until you get to that point, the meditation on the process cannot enlighten you. It cannot change your being into an ISB, okay? There's something about seeing that what you thought was real is no longer real that changes your being completely, okay? So in a unique way that understanding where stuff comes from cannot. Which means you can do DCI tours and you can travel around and you can go to lots of countries and talk to people, but you still have to meditate. You still have to sit down and meditate, okay? And if you meditate without understanding the thought process, you're not going to get anywhere either. You have to have both, a balance, okay? Of the rational and the mystical, if you want to put it that way, okay? You have to have both. You can't get to the mystical without the rational. To get to the rational without the mystical is useless, okay? Got it? All right. One more verse for Mr. Connor, because he's so cool. De la Nelu Gombas. By the way, we have to have a hand for all the 3-year retreatants. Can you raise your hand, 3-year retreatants? Okay, yeah. Last night we had a Seichu. I think there were 45 people who've had higher empowerments, and that's the most I've ever seen in one place outside of Sarah, So that was, I don't know, to me that was a big deal. It felt really good. And we were at we were listening to this lady's thing, and she stopped singing and said, "Who are you? Who are you?" And we didn't do anything. We were just sitting there, and she likes, "Who are you?" And we're like, never mind. Okay. De la Nelu Gomaser, Shepa Kunsop Yimbar Tak. Sorry. Shepa Kunsop Yimbar Tak. Kunsop Gonla Neluk De. Ha ha! Shepa Yaten. Last line. Ngani Gomba Ngai Tok. Okay. So it's a final irony brought up by the devil, okay? 9. De la Nelu Gomaser. To meditate on the process of how the pen has come into being without going on to the next step, which for the pen is what? Yeah, it wasn't made in a factory in Japan, okay? And I didn't obtain it through money. Those are fallacies. They are wrong. If you work your whole life to make money to buy things, or you go to factories to get things, you're wasting your time. And then you're unhappy, because you can't get the things you want that way. It works sometimes and it doesn't work other times, and you get frustrated your whole life, okay? Just Just share pens with other people. And then you'll always have enough pens, okay? And then there's no frustration, there's no anxiety. It always works, okay? Got it? So there's 2 pens in my hand. One is the pen that was obtained by buying at a store a pen that was made in Japan, okay? In a factory in Japan, okay? And then there's a second pen in my hand, which you get to see because you have a karmic seed in your mind, which was put there when you shared pens with other people, which is moral and kind and compassionate. And that's the basis of reality. Now, which pen is real? Yeah, the second one. Okay, the pen the pen that you're seeing because you were generous with other people is the pen in my hand. Okay, the apparent pen, which is called kunzop, right? What's kunzop? Apparent, seems to be. The apparent pen in my hand, the one that was bought with dollars and which was produced in a factory in Japan, that pen doesn't exist, never existed, and couldn't exist, and never will exist. Okay, is that enough? Okay, couldn't exist, it's impossible. That's impossible. Impossibles are impossible. How's that? The only thing that's impossible is impossibles. Okay, got it? That's impossible. For a pen to be in my hand because it was made in a factory in Japan and I bought it with money is impossible. That's dumb. That's foolish. There's no such thing. Okay? But we believe that, and we work for money, and we keep things. And we don't share them, so we deny ourselves those things. Okay? And it's very tragic, but it's also kind of cool because the opposite is fun. It's fun to share stuff. And that's how you get stuff, okay? All right. Dela Nelu Gombaser. If you say meditate, now it's very subtle, okay? And that's why people don't teach this text very often, because it's just very difficult. To call that a meditation on Neluk, say Neluk. Neluk means the way things are, okay? Neluk. Ne means to be or to stay. And Luk means the way, like Galukpa, okay? The way of virtue. Neluk means the real nature of things. Okay, that's Neluk. To call that a meditation on Neluk, what? Meditating on the process by which I'm seeing a pen. Karmic seed planted by sharing pens with others, puts in my mind, the seed opens, a small luminous image of a pen comes out of my mind, and I mistake that for a pen, okay? And that's all I'm looking at ever. And the picture is so good I can write with it. That's cool. That's important to appreciate, okay? The picture's so good I can write with it, okay? But to say that's a meditation on reality itself, on ultimate reality, higher reality, ser, shepa kunzo yimbatak, is a mistake. Why? Shepa kunzo. Shepa itself is kunzo. The mind and thought processes are not ultimate reality. They are relative reality. They are deceptive reality. Okay, there are 2 kinds of realities in Buddhism. Ultimate reality, which is defined as that thing which when seen directly changes your being permanently. Kicks you up to a higher form of evolution. That's the definition of ultimate reality, okay? If you see it, your being gets kicked up to a higher level of evolution in 20 minutes, okay? Got it? And then there's another reality which is called deceptive reality, and we live in the deceptive reality all the time, okay? Most people in their lifetime never see anything else. Deceptive reality is all the other stuff in your life, okay? That's called deceptive reality. Why is it deceptive? Why is it called deceptive? Why is this deceptive reality? Yeah, it fools you. Its nature is to fool you. You think it comes from a factory in Japan and that you obtain it by paying money, right? And that's it. It fools you. It tricks you, okay? So here's a cool question in the debate ground. Can a Buddha see deceptive reality? Can a Buddha see a pen? Careful. You have to be like a chess player in the debate ground. You have to guess where the guy's going because you don't want to be trapped. Can a Buddha see a pen? Yeah. So are they deceived by the pen? But are they seeing deceptive reality? Huh?
They're seeing reality, but they're not deceived by it.
So it's not deceptive reality. So it's not deceptive reality. So it's not a pen to them, because pens are always deceptive reality. Huh? This is deceptive reality because it seems to be made in a factory in Japan, and it seems like I can only obtain it by paying money. That's a lie. All objects in the normal world lie to us. Okay, that's deceptive reality. Does a Buddha see a pen? Yes. So are they deceived? So they look at deceptive reality, but they're not deceived. So why call it deceptive? That's the point. Now, yeah, normal people are normal people is the opposite of an Arya. Okay, normal people are deceived by the pen. Okay, that's deceptive reality. Why are we talking about that? Hang with me. Stay with me. Connor asked for it. I'm giving it to you. But if you fall asleep, I'll be really irritated. Now I forgot what I was going to say. No. Is watching the thought processes in your mind as you go through where the pen really came from, is the object which you're watching ultimate reality or deceptive reality? As you listen to your thoughts about your new understanding of where the pen comes from, as you observe those thoughts pass through your mind, are you watching ultimate reality or are you watching deceptive reality? It's deceptive, okay? That's really important. That's deceptive. A normal person, before they see emptiness directly, even as they struggle to understand where things really come from, and they observe their mind thinking even correctly about where this comes from, they are enmeshed in deceptive reality. Because even, get this, okay, and that's the last point he's making, I mean, in this section. Even as you struggle to understand the pen, you have a feeling that you are coming from yourself. Even as you struggle, even as you look at the pen and reflect on how it's coming from seeds, you are already misunderstanding the pen as you think about it. And as you're aware of your own thoughts, you're misunderstanding your own thoughts. Okay? Understand? It's like very terrible. It's a very terrible thing. You cannot perceive a pen. You cannot hear a thought without misunderstanding the pen and without misunderstanding the thought, even as you're thinking about where the pen really does come from. Because it's ingrained in a human being. It's part of their nature. Okay? It's ingrained. Okay? Senke means it's part of human nature. Okay, so that's his point here. So now we can finish the rest of this verse and then do 8 minutes of questions and go home. Kunso Kombar ne luk du. So really, a person who's watching their own mind as they go through the thought process of where this really comes from, popping out as a luminous image which is applied to the pen, right? Are they focused on Neluk, ultimate reality, or are they focused on Kunzo, deceptive reality? And that's what he says here. They make the mistake of thinking that meditating on something which is deceiving them could be a meditation on emptiness. Okay, got it? Very subtle. All right. Then he finishes. What kind of idea is that? How does the devil feel about very subtle meditators who are in the act of understanding the pen, believe that their mind comes from itself? What does he say? Read the Tibetan. Next line. No, what's it say? Ha ha. Okay, it's the same in English, okay? Ha ha in Tibetan is the same in English. It means ha 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 ha. You know, who's saying that? The devil is like, ha ha ha. You're understanding where the pen comes from, and you're in the middle of deceptive reality. It's so cool. And you think you're meditating on emptiness. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. Shut up, Yatsemba. Your version of wisdom is Sen. Their short-term memory is really bad. Maybe that's an effect of 3-year retreat or something. Weird. No, you gotta say it right. Weird. You know, your version of wisdom is weird. Okay. Who's saying that? Who's he saying it to? Wisdom. He's saying it to the angel. You're a weird angel. In the middle of being ignorant, you think that's a meditation on emptiness. Ha ha. Okay, last line. Nani Gomba. Nani. Translate this for me, those Tibetan scholars, okay? And then I'll let you go home, okay? I'll let you ask one question just because I promised. Nani. What's Tomba Ni? Emptiness. Okay, the nas, which is ta in Sanskrit, shunya, ta, which came into English as shun, like locomotion or friction, or the state, that state. In Tibetan, the word ni is an exclusive particle. It means nothing but. Okay? Na ni. Me and nothing else. Who's me here? The devil. Me and nothing else. Gomba. Okay? Meditating on me. Nai talk. You're talkpo. What you're meditating, by the way, the nga here can also be self. You're meditating on how the pen comes from the pen. You know? Meditating the way you're meditating is to talkpo me. You're like my good pal. Okay? That kind of attitude is my pal. That's how he closes that section, you know? Thanks. Thanks for thinking that thinking about the pen correctly is a meditation on emptiness. Thanks. You're my real pal. You're my buddy. That's my buddy. Got it? It's very subtle, okay? Is it wrong to understand the pen? No. What's wrong about it? To think that you should stop there and not go sit on your meditation cushion every day for at least, 45 minutes or an hour in good meditation is foolish, because you cannot see emptiness in discursive thought process. You can't. You have to be on your meditation seat. It's not possible to see emptiness directly walking around. There's some weird Japanese thing, I was chopping wood and I saw emptiness. It's all wrong. It's foolish. It's not possible. It doesn't work like that. There's no Buddhist scripture that ever said that, okay? Okay? You can have insights into dependent origination while chopping wood. And that's very common. Because you're doing it for your teacher. That's very common. Somebody cooking tea or chopping wood or out shopping for their lama, so that's very common. That's correct. They had a Jor Lama experience, second path, but not the direct perception. You can't do that walking around. You've got to meditate a certain amount each day. Okay? Okay, Mr. Connor, happy? Thank you. Thanks for asking. I could do it all night, but, then nobody would come instead of the 20 people in Phoenix tomorrow. Okay. Gyalse. We'll just go another 5 minutes, okay? Because I don't want to exhaust everybody, except Jigme and the Vasics. Can you use that microphone just so people can hear you? But you'll have to sit on Kunga's lap.
Okay. So my question is about having the deceptive perception while we're thinking about deceptive reality. Is that because we're still clinging to our thoughts and our ideas as being self-existent as well?
Yeah, partly.
As well as ourselves.
Yeah, there's a conscious feeling about your thought processes, and then there's a inborn feeling about your thought processes. So one is called Denzen Kuntak, and one is called Denzen Senke. One is inborn. All beings have it. Ants have it. Cockroaches have it. Birds have it. They have a feeling about themselves which is wrong. And that's innate. and then the other is learned, is intellectual. If I ask you, do you come from yourself, and you say no, then you've overcome the intellectual belief that you come from yourself. But to really overcome the inborn one takes much longer. So he's trying to point out that difference, okay? To discuss in your mind how you're not coming from anything but a seed in your mind overcomes the belief, the intellectual belief, and it's a step forward. But until you overcome the inborn belief, you can't make ultimate progress, okay? Like that. So it's both an intellectual belief that the pen was made in Japan, and it's an inborn belief which is much more subtle and profound. And you, even as you hold up the pen to describe how it wasn't made in a factory in Japan, you believe it was. And that's hard. The second one is almost impossible. But at least you should hear someone say, that's not meditating on emptiness. And then you can chew on it. You can work on it, okay? It's one more question, then we'll stop. Somebody who's not a regular, okay? So Kim Korba's friend. Can you just talk loud? Is that okay?
My question is this. You mentioned earlier when you meditate, you need to be able to understand your mind, but at the same time when you meditate, you have to shut off your mind. Can you explain that further, please?
Yeah, good. I think what we were saying was we were describing the process of where you think about how your mind works, okay? And the way your mind works is the same as the pen, okay? So what many people don't make the leap to is that whatever's true about outer stuff and people you meet is also true about the thoughts that you hear in your mind, okay? So the nature of the thoughts that you hear in your mind is very similar to the light coming from a star which is many light years away. That light left those stars. There's a supernova that was visible in 1052 or 54, I don't remember. And now it's not visible anymore. I think it's in Gemini. Or the one next to Gemini, which is Taurus, okay? So in one of those constellations, there's in one of the nebulae, there was actually a supernova that was so bright that it was as visible as Venus in 1054. And now it's already burned out. Okay? It's kind of cool, okay? So, but the light from left that star, the light that was seen on this planet in 1054 as the brightest object in the sky, finished many millions of years before that. And it took that long to get here. By the time you see it, it's dead, it's gone, the star's already gone, okay? Why am I talking about that? By the time you hear a thought in your own mind, it has already been thunked a millisecond ago, and the person who thunked it is already gone into the past, okay? You are not thinking your thoughts, you are hearing something that someone thunked a moment before, and you can't reach them, and you can't contact them, and there's nothing you can do in the present time to affect something that happened a millisecond ago, because that's gone forever. You can't, have a discussion with someone who left on the bus yesterday. Understand? So when you hear a thought in your mind, that also is coming out of a karmic seed. So if you're depressed, you're always going to be depressed, okay? You can't affect your thoughts in the present moment. It's not possible. You also can't affect your friends in the present moment. They are light that left from a star a week ago. Okay? Your friends, your situation, how people relate to you, problems you have in your life, it's too late to do anything about them. They are light which left the star last week. Okay? All you can do is what? Hayam dukham anagatam. Say hayam dukham anagatam. What's it mean? Heya means to be given up or to be abandoned. Dukkham, suffering, is anagatam, hasn't arrived yet. The only suffering you can address, the only pain you can address in your life is the pain that will be coming next week. It's too late now. It's coming from a star that's already gone. You see what I mean? Why are we talking about that? So what I meant to say was, there's a thought process that you go through to understand these things. I'm not teaching it to you. It's coming out of seeds in your mind, okay? You created me, which I always like to point out to the people who don't like me, or the people who, don't like to talk tonight. You can blame yourself, okay? Scott, I'm coming out of your mind, If you like what I'm saying, that's me. Okay, no, just kidding. No, just kidding. Why am I talking about that? So you have thought processes in your mind which are actually ripenings from nice things you did for people last week. Okay, hearing me explain the pen is coming from you. And it's coming because you struggled to share your own wisdom or your own knowledge with other people in the past. And that's why you're hearing something about reality tonight. It's coming from you, okay? Then what I said, and what I think you heard me say was, you have to go beyond that, okay? You have to be proactive. You can't just sit around and wait for thoughts to pop up out of karmic seeds in your mind, because you also did a lot of bad stuff. So you might hear thoughts of depression or jealousy or desire or lust or hunger, all kinds of bad things that are popping out of old seeds, okay? So you have to go beyond being a passive listener to your mind to planting the seeds to have a pleasant mind pop up next week, okay? So in my garden, we spend a lot of time picking out plants and planting seeds for plants to come in June or July, and that's life. So rather than standing there and looking at the dirt and accepting whatever pops out, which is usually a weed, okay, sometimes it's a pretty weed, you can be proactive about your own mind and share what you know with others. And the scriptures are careful to say, to whatever degree you understand, if you try to share it, the karma of that will be that you'll understand stuff better next week. You will hear yourself understand better next week, because that's coming out of a seed from attempting to share with others what little we know. Okay, got it? So that's what I was trying to say. You go beyond listening to your mind say things that were left the star a week ago, and you get proactive and you plant the thoughts that you want for next week. But you can't change your current thoughts, so don't go crazy about it. All psychology is useless. All psychology is useless. You cannot change your mind in the present moment. You don't have control over what comes out of your mind. If you do a psychological method and your mind changes, it's because the seeds changed, and not because you tried anything. Okay? It would have happened anyway. Okay? Does that mean I shouldn't go to a psychiatrist? No, you should go, but first you should help somebody else who's having a problem. Then what the psychiatrist tells you will work. Understand? Does it mean am I saying you should never go to a psychologist? I'm not saying that. I'm saying you should plan, or should you never do yoga if you want to have a healthy body? Yeah, you can do yoga, but first you have to go to the hospital and help somebody. Then the yoga will work. If you don't go to the hospital and you do the same poses, you'll hurt your neck. Okay, long answer. All right, no, we gotta stop. Everyone's gonna fall asleep and lay down on chairs and stuff. Huh? Oh yeah, you want to see something cool? Do you mind? If you gotta go, go. Don't be shy. Just stand up and walk out, okay? You ready, Adam? I want to show you our proposal for our Chinese sponsors about a building, a college where we want to build in Sedona, okay? Because some of you, I know you're refugees, and maybe you want to visit or move there or something. So, and Nicole Vigna's been working very hard on closing this deal. And we've made offers on 2 buildings in Sedona, and an offer was accepted yesterday, day before. But we just didn't have the money yet. So anyway, that's the building in the village of Oak Creek. Oak Creek is in Sedona. It's just closer to my house. I like that Bell Rock because that's a very famous stupa in Thailand, and that's Bell Rock, and they look the same to me. Bell Rock is visible out the windows of the building. It's one of the 2 most famous structures in Sedona, natural formations. Okay. That's the view out the window. We took a photo out the window. So you see Bell Rock and a thing called Cathedral Rock, which was the thing with the rainbow on it. So these are the 2 coolest. I did my first Vajrayogini retreat there, and I was walking around and I said, gee, the whole ground is red. The dirt is red, you know, and it was kind of awesome. Okay, so wait, go back. That's an office. That's what the offices will look like. And we'll have a conference room for large classes, like up to 50 or 100 people, something like that. So we intend to have VIP trainings from people from Europe or Asia would pay to come and have a vacation in Sedona and take a 5-day Tsongkhapa course, which we already did with VIPs in China. Next. Then the sponsor wants a shrine room and a meditation room in the building, so we'll include that. Next, classrooms upstairs, and we want to teach DCI teachers there, and we want to offer ACI courses. So you can come there and get your 18 ACI courses done, and then we're requiring that DCI teachers go through their 18 ACI courses. So everybody who teaches, the 33 people who are already teaching for DCI, are required to finish 4 ACI courses a year until they finish, and then they have to finish their 18 higher courses, and then they have to do Lamrim. It never ends. Then we want to have a video production facility. We want to make Hollywood videos, and we want to make YouTube videos. So we have a project. We already have funding to make 200 YouTube videos for learning Tibetan and learning to use the ACIP database. There'll be a print and copy center to waste trees. We'll have the sponsor wants traditional scriptures there. So we'll have ACIP research will go on there. We're still cataloging, Jigme's cataloging the Kangyur at a very slow rate. And we're cataloging, Phil is cataloging the Tengyur, and other people are working on the Sumbums, and that will take 150 more years. So it's nice to have a place to do it. That's the reception area. That's finance, administration, marketing. There'll be a soundproof room for music practice. We put that in she and I put it in this afternoon. And I like a small cafe and a lounge. Okay, so that's the function. The place will be a college for training ACI teachers, training DCI teachers, having VIP programs, making videos, doing online courses, filming online courses, holding simultaneous online courses, and etc. So anyway, if you want to help out or you want to come and see it, talk to Nicole. And she's been organizing the whole purchase of the building, and we have to remodel it. I'm thinking there's 3 people in my life I know who are, well, it's 4, but 3 are available, who are good at remodeling places. One is Connie, wherever you are. Like, she just has a natural talent for it that she doesn't know about. And Peggy Hitchcock, I'd like to get involved, because she has a natural talent for it. And who was the 3rd person? Christine Walsh, who doesn't know she has a talent for it. But her house, if you go to her house, it's very elegant and graceful, and just certain people have a certain talent for that. So what we'd like to do is get them involved in the remodeling of the interior, So anyway, if you're interested in that college or knowing more about it, talk to Nicole. Okay. All right. And Diamond Mountain is open for business as a retreat center, and people are already going. The Colombians want to go for a retreat. We'll do our first big retreat there in October. In the 29 cabins, so kindly. 29? Am I right? 26? Correct me. 26 cabins that were built by these guys and donated for free to your future retreats. So I think you should give them a hand for that. Yeah. So they built it at their own expense. Most of them spent every penny they had and more, which they're still paying off. And they're penniless, and they gave those buildings for you to do a retreat in. So if you're interested in doing a retreat, talk to Kunga or Gelse, okay, these two guys, or Earl, and I think that's awesome. So if you want to do a 1-week retreat or a 3-day retreat, we're not just talking 3 years, okay? No, I mean, personally, I think 1 month is fine. I think a lot of 1-monthers is probably worth a 3-year, but you don't get as much publicity. You know, but 1 month is fine. 10 days is great. But now you can just go anytime you want. You can just go and do a retreat. Okay, all right. So do it. All right. Let's dedicate the. Yeah. Let's do the Kunga. You ready? Thanks for coming. Thanks for organizing it. Okay. And congratulations to the 3-year retreats. Yeah.
Thank you all for coming. I had to do this. I did make a really quick list. I wanted to recognize a few people for their efforts for making this possible. First, Marjorie. She jumped in and helped in with the registration sign-in desk yesterday and made signs. Incredible. Thank you so much. Aaron and Rick, I asked them on Wednesday if they would perform something on Friday, and they put that together in 2 days, and it was such a beautiful offering yesterday. So thank you wherever you are. Vicky runs the bookstore every single time, doesn't even need to be asked. She shows up, does it. We know she's going to be there. Thank you so very much. And if you ever need any help, let us know. Word jumped in and helped out with the bake sale. Another great job. Thank you very much for doing that. Let's see here. Esther helped out with quite a few miscellaneous things. Whenever I asked her to do something, she just jumped in and helped. So thank you for that. We have Johnny O and Anatole who jumped in on sound the whole time. That was wonderful. Thank you all. I think every one of you was over there in the band. Maybe not everyone, but that was a beautiful performance. Thank you very much. And there's just so many of you who just jumped in and said, hey, can I help? Can I help? And just thank you all for making this possible. And we look forward to seeing you soon. Have a good evening.
In Latin America, they call me Señor Último Cosa, Mr. One More Thing, Mr. One Last Thing. It's a joke. This house is up for sale. It's a historical building. It's 100 years old or something. It's on the National Register of Historical Buildings. It was one of the first houses in Arizona and Glendale. And there's a casita where we put some of our staff to sleep, and then this has extra rooms, and we put some of the staff in there. The total property includes that building that you were in today, which is just opening up. There was a factory, a small hippie factory there. Not that they make hippies, but the hippies make stuff. And it's for sale. And we actually had some of our Chinese visitors. We brought them here, and we kind of gently hit on them, but they didn't get it. So anyway, if anyone is interested in helping, we'd like to purchase it if possible. But we're not like going crazy about it. It'd be nice. If we don't, I don't know, some other Chinese person's going to buy it. There've already been some people look at it, and we'll have to go find a new place. So I'm not into owning property per se. I think it's a lot of trouble most of the time. But I think it's useful, and I think it's a nice size. It's an intimate size place for talks and stuff like that. It's pleasant to be here, and it has served us well. We could have put our center in Scottsdale, which is where the wealthy students live, the yoga people who can afford to do yoga all day. And we could have put it in Central Phoenix, which is where all the hip people live. And we put it in Glendale, which is all the poor people live, the dangerous part of town, because we wanted to affect this area and help people here. So we purposely put it in the middle of a rough neighborhood. So I'd like to thank Nick, Aaron, and Anatole, and Adriana for keeping this place going. Yeah. And they've built up a nice clientele. People take refuge here, and they come here. People, especially who are living in violent families or, things like that, they come here, and they take there's free yoga, there's free Dharma constantly, almost every day. And I think it's a sweet place. So if you happen to have 380,000, 350, we lowered it. Laying around, talk to Nick, okay? Or if you have some idea about that. I'm not like really attached to it. We can go anywhere, it doesn't matter, but if somebody knows of has a way to do that, I think we've built up a place that's a refuge for some people in a dangerous situation, and I think it would be cool to keep going if we can. So if you have some idea how to help with that, talk to Nick. Okay, sorry to keep you. Good night.
Just kidding. Aaron asked me to announce an event happening next weekend here at Casa Jardin. You can read about it here. Anatole and Word and some holistic health folks. I don't know enough about it to really speak intelligently or coherently, but you can. This is happening next weekend. It's $20. If you've ever eaten Anatole's delicious divine nectar, you know that I've always wanted to take one of his workshops to learn how he does that, because I want to do it too. So I won't be here, but if you are in town, this is happening here as well. And additionally, if anyone is interested in helping out with ACI marketing or ACI Phoenix marketing, please reach out to me or Esther or Sal, because we're going to be ramping things up over the next couple months to get the message out to Phoenix that we're here. There's 5 million-ish people, and there's 20 of us. There's like 50 of us here tonight. We think we could get this out, and that's all. Thank you all for coming. Have a good evening. Just kidding.
Ultimo causa. Rebecca, stand up, please. She has orphaned kittens. If anyone wants a cat, she and Gunnar have been taking care of needy baby cats in their home. Like, if you ever visit them, you have to be able to step over all the cats. And don't bring your dog to their house. And anyway, if you would like a kitten, please talk to her, because we'd like to give them a good home. Okay, thank you. Good night.
And if you can stay to help us clean everything up, that would be wonderful. The more people, the quicker it goes. Thank you. I think that was the last thing.